at this point, because I do feel like there's almost a battle for good and evil at this time. Um, Especially when you look at things going on with the MAGA and then, the rest of us. And sometimes when you talk to a MAGA person, I try not to when I can avoid it. But they'll say things like, yeah, we're going to start a civil war or whatever. And I'm like, well, look, there's 75% of us at this point because Trump is losing in the polls every day. I think people are starting to catch on that he really is a criminal, regardless of how you personally feel about him. We have to accept the reality of who he has always been. And I have said this on this before. I have not hid this fact, but I am from New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey hearing that Donald Trump was a crook. I always knew Donald Trump was a criminal. And it's just like Chris Christie said, he filed bankruptcy on 3 different casinos 3 different times. That's 9 times. People were built out of millions of dollars. That was obviously a scam that was pulled. People had millions. So this is a person who's ruined the lives of many, many people already. And I'm not even going into the slum tenant homes that he had in New York. There's so many stories of what he did to Black folks in New York with the tenant, the home buildings. It's legendary. So when people pretend that's not who this fellow is, I'm like, come on. I mean, obviously, even when they talk about it now, there's rumors. That's what Schiff was getting at when they shut him down and shut him up, was that his son, Trump's son, had met with someone over in Russia prior to them interfering with that election. And can I say this for the umpteenth time? When they found out that there was interference in that 2016 election, they should have had a runoff again and redid it. There was a problem with the voting. Why they never did that to this day, I do not know. That should be something that is put in the record, that if someone, like if there is found that there is actually corruption, because remember, that was determined to be true. They said it was Ukrainians at that time or Russians. But look, what difference does it make? They interfered in that and messing with Hillary and Trump. And it was because of their interference that Hillary didn't win, because she had 5 million more votes than Trump in that election. It was those electoral votes that made him win, and they were fake. Now, with the 2020 election, let me say this about the corruption. They have already started arresting and even passing out sentences on 2020's election fraud, where they were using fake electors to go in and do the same thing. I think the crazy part is that he was in shock, and why he keeps saying that people cheated is that didn't work, that he still didn't win. And what he doesn't understand, and what some of his followers don't understand, is that we who did not vote for him are 70% of the nation. And we fired him. He was fired on purpose because we already had a clue. We couldn't prove he was a criminal or that he was whatever, but we all who did not vote for him had a clue, and we knew. And we began looking at you guys who don't have a clue as people who are in a cult. We call you MAGA cult fanatics because that's every bit of a cult. Now there are facts, not just rumors, facts that are coming out, even recordings of him committing crimes and doing heinous things, and other people around him who are also being indicted and being found guilty, some of them turning over evidence so they don't have to do time. There's so much corruption and crime. Yet he comes out and points a finger at Biden and his family. And I'm thinking, wait, Hunter had a drug problem. He had some sex maybe outside of his marriage, and he didn't pay his taxes on time. That sounds like a normal person spiraling out of control to me. I don't see any horrible corruption in there. However, Trump's son getting 2 billion with a B from the Arabs, there's something a little sneaky about Jerry getting that amount of money. For what, Jerry? For what? We all know there's some crime there, but they have not looked at the real crime, family. Just keep showing Hunter with his pants down. And that, by the way, I heard Hunter is going to sue Marjorie Taylor Greene over it, which that makes me kind of happy. Anyway, as you can see, this is why I haven't gone live. Because my mind is really kind of on that current affairs, which are crazy, right? I've been on that. I've been really looking at that. I'm a huge fan of the Midas touch. Shout out to the Midas Mighty. And I have really been keeping my eye on it because I feel almost that it's my responsibility to say something. If not, we'll be gaslit. There'll be propaganda. You'll hear people like Marjorie Taylor Greene telling you lies. She believes that the insurrectionists were innocent. And we saw with our own eyes what they did. It was disgusting. I don't like being gaslit. And that's what they've been trying to do. Like, I think the time of them pulling the wool over our eyes is just about over. And they are being found out in a big way. Every day there seems to be another crime or indictment or charge or in various states and in various levels of government. Yet they keep pointing the finger at Democrats and the DOJ and at people who are just doing their darn jobs. That's it. That's their job, to find these facts. These are facts, not suppositions, not these people that they always say we got these smoking gun and then it ends up being some criminal that wants to stay alive. No, not that. We're talking about real things like recordings, videos, handwritten documents, employees, people who know, who recorded things because they already knew it was dirty. Stuff like that.